Hi, I'm Ariane Cap, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, Jon Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. We are here today with Ariane Cap. How are you, Ariane?
I'm very well, John. Great to see you in Germany for a change.
It's great to see you. Also, always great to see you. And we did an interview. Boy, that's got to be probably, I bet, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we got all the information about your upbringing in Austria.
Yes.
And coming to the States and all the cool stuff that you did. By the way, that interview is on the site. Go to forbassplayersonly.com, and in the search tab, just put Ariane Cap, ARIANECAP. Okay? So I understand. Let's get right to it, Ariane. You've got at least a couple of new projects that you're very excited about, justifiably. Why don't you tell everybody about those?
Well, it's been a very busy, actually, 2.5 years. And if I may show my latest achievement here, this is music theory for the bass player, which is a 2.5-year, very intense effort to bring music theory to the bass player. So I was looking at, other theory books, and a lot of the theory books, I think, are geared towards either classical players or maybe jazz players. And my goal was to really create something that's relevant for the bass player. Everything you need, but nothing extra, and relate everything to the bass. And I conceptualized the book in a way so you can go through it without knowing how to read. The reason why I did that is not because I don't think reading is important. I think it's incredibly important. But my thought was that this is a lot of material. It's quite dense. And one thing at a time. So if you can read, you can use the examples written, but if you can't read, then you might just rely on the tab. Because a lot of us are visual learners, and it helps to see in your mind eyes where the fingers go, how fingers move all across the fretboard. And so that was the goal that I had with this book, and there was really not another book out on the market that I saw that would do that. So
good for you. A good bass player does need to know a lot more than just 1 and 5 in order to play good lines.
Yeah, I mean, 1 and 5 can get you far, so I wouldn't say that, but it sure helps if you know what chords are built of, how triads are made, what extensions are, what, sus chords are, what inversions are, and why it's important to know as a bass player. My goal was to explain those things, really make them applicable to the bass, put them on the bass, make them visual, and put that in a book. I did not think it would become that much material. So
you as I recall, you were telling me about this project when you had it in the works, and just I can see how thick it is. So obviously you were immersed in this, and this is not something you knocked out over a weekend. So congratulations on finally seeing. It's got to be a good feeling to actually be able to hold that in your hand. What's your other big project?
Well, the other big project is kind of related to this book. I'm starting a blog project, and it says here video demonstrations, and you can hold the phone on it, and then we'll take you to my website, which is arispacblog.com. And what I'm planning to do is I'm going through each of the concepts in the book, and I'm making a blog out of it. And it'll be 5 to 7 minutes long of video snippets that you can have the book to follow along, but you don't necessarily need it, so it'll be fine if you just follow along with the blog.
I think you are doing all the right things in all the right ways, and you are very inspirational.
Yeah, thank you.
So congratulations on everything. Let's talk about your equipment. I know you like Marleaux basses.
Yes, I've been playing Marleaux for many years. And
Gerald Marleaux is a great guy. Why do you like Marleaux basses?
They're just very comfortable to my hand. I've been trying lots of different basses that are, too wide, too narrow. They have a very comfortable neck. They speak very quickly. I play in very different contexts, everything from funk to jazz to pop, where I might want a little bit of a higher action, so I like to dig in. And I don't get any fret buzz. And then I have other projects where I do a lot of tapping. And for example, with my duo Un, and for that I will want a very low action.
Say that again real slowly and clearly so everybody hears it. It's a duet project with bassoon and bass, and it is called
Un.
And that is spelled
O-O-N. If you take the word bassoon and then take the word bass out of it, you're left with un.
Pardon me for interjecting, but I thought that was important that they know. Continue, please.
Yeah, and for that project, I like to have a low action because it really gives me the opportunity to tap and do all sorts of chordal stuff, and I can just dial that in with the Marleaux, just no problem.
So this is the same bass? You can adjust the action or use different basses?
No, that would be my 6th string for that project, but I am so used to the neck on my 4 and 5 and 6 L consets, which is one of the Marleaux lines, and they're very comfortable, and it's just seamless, just an extra string, you know.
Well, again, I'm sure you've got to be so happy that this is finally out on the street and to be able to hold it in your hand. The other projects, I have a feeling that something else is percolating in your brain about another project, something else that you're working on or getting ready to work on or tinkering with or wanting to launch or collaborating with somebody. That's just a hunch.
Well, you know, I mean, I love what I do. I'm really, really passionate about it. I love teaching. I love, thinking about the mind, about how we can, best apply ourselves, express ourselves. What tools do we need to really have like secondhand under our fingers and be like really kinesthetically aware of where the shapes are and so forth. And it comes out in a lot of different projects. So the book is one. My music that I do with Paul Hansen and other projects as well is another.
Paul Hansen is the other part of the Un duo. Okay, the bassoon player.
Yeah, the bassoon player.
Okay.
And with the work that I now started with True Fire, so it seems like my plate is full, but I'm always looking for collaborations and ways to expand. And I love teaching and going to classes and doing seminars is something we do with Paul a lot also, and I just love doing that. So.
Maybe you and I'll do something together.
John, we should talk about that.
All right. We got to go.
I have one more thing, though.
Sure.
And being here at this wonderful event here at Warwick.
We are at the Warwick and famous world headquarters in Markneukirchen, Germany.
I can actually say that with an Austrian accent. Do you have that in your collection?
I can't even say it with an English accent, American accent.
Well,
Let me hear you say it.
Markneukirchen. That would be like my Austrian, where I'm from,
Yes.
so my Innsbruck accent, but just being here and meeting all these other women players,
Yes.
so what has been a little bit percolating, to answer your question also, is that we have been loosely talking a little bit about, is there any sort of way we could, maybe with a website or maybe some other way, bring female educators together. There is still, a little bit of an uphill battle to fight to have full acceptance of female players, female teachers. There's some camps that have not a single woman on faculty, and I think it might not be for ill will. It might just be that folks don't think about how that comes across, but it certainly doesn't attract female players, female students. And I think that's something that's really dear to my heart because I've been teaching a lot of all-female camps, and seeing the response of the women that would say, otherwise we would have never come to a camp if it wouldn't have specifically drawn me out as a woman.
I remember you talking about that during our first interview, and I'm glad you're still passionate about that. By the way, I am proud to say that we're out here for a week, and I have close to 20 interviews that I will have done, and about 30 to 35% of those are with female bass players.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So I'd like to do my part to further the cause.
And certainly you do, and Warwick does, and lots of others. There are just some pockets still where they don't, and you really fight a little bit of an uphill battle. So that's something that's dear to my heart. But we want to do it with inclusion and with supporting each other, rather than being militant about it, So that would be another percolating project.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, keep doing what you're doing, and like I said before, you're doing great stuff, and I think you're doing all the right things in all the right ways. So congratulations, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again, because I have a feeling you're going to have something of substance to share with us in the not too distant future. So keep it up, Ariane. Great catching up with you. Thanks very much. From Markneukirchen, Germany, I am Jon Liebman. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.